well, too.
Of course I fulfilled my duty. I even had help from a friend.
Had help is a rather conservative way to put it. I made almost all the arrangements. How did you see it in your mind? Surely you don't see friends as nothing more than beasts of burden to do hard labor at your command.
Oh dear, now this is harsh. Ah, my apologies for the late introduction. This is my old friend.
Russell?
Oh?
Subaru, you know him too?
Yeah, you know, he's a pretty famous guy.
To think you would be familiar with me. I'm very honored, Mr. Natsuki.
Mr. Russell, are you also familiar with Subaru?
Of course. As someone who does business in the royal capital, I pay attention to everything discussed within the castle. The people involved in such affairs are no exception. Not to mention, I hear that Mr. Natsuki, despite the absence of his master, negotiated with royal candidates and made great efforts to set all the pieces in place. Along with Miss Amelia, you are currently someone of great renown at the royal castle.
I've got that good of a reputation? Just so you know, I'm not some big shot like that.
No, your reputation is well earned. Rem is very proud. I can agree to that too. Subaru worked really hard after all.
I know I was working hard, but still!
Anyway, because of Russell's favoritism for Subaru, the coordination went without any issue. My, such a capable friend to have, and a servant with great promise.
As a Royal Capital Merchant Guild representative, I deal with a great many issues, which is why that evil magician there sought my help. If you're going to deal with an evil magician, you need to be cautious of their words and deeds. Sometimes you have to be firm with them.
Yes, I understand. I'll be sure to remember those words.
Such an assertive reply. As an evil magician, I tremble in fear.
Evil magician? You, Roswell? Why?
It seems EMA has snuck one past the Keeper Roswell!
Roswell isn't the bad guy he pretends to be. He doesn't know what to do with genuine reactions like these.
Well, now I've just about lost all my reputation. Let's get back to the main topic.
A clever evasion. Having said that, Roswell speaks true. Everyone awaits inside.
But still, thank you very much, Russell. It must have been really tough, right?
No, it's fine. Of course, I see this as an investment and hope for an appropriate return. Please continue your efforts in the royal selection going forward. Miss Amelia and Mr. Natsuki?
I'll do my best. I'm getting nervous.
Why should you be nervous, Subaru?
I guess that's true. But I feel like I did something rash. Even for me.
That's one of the wonderful things about Subaru.
Is it?
Come on, I'm opening the door. 1, 2...
Hey, wait, my heart's not ready!
Oh, so you're finally here. You sure did take your time. In Kararagi, we say time is money, you know?
How typical of you to say such a thing. It is actually impressive that you could spew such cheap words of advice.
That's enough. They were invited into my household, so they're my guests. As the master of the estate, I won't allow such quarrels.
Whoa! This is really something.
You're right. Everyone is here. All thanks to Subaru's charm.
Stop making everything my responsibility. I saw how tense things are.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Tense, Meow? Whose fault do you think it is?
Let him say what he will, Ferris. It seems he has no self-awareness.
Self-awareness? Like, aware that yourself did something horribly wrong?
I wouldn't say it's wrong, but it certainly is out of the ordinary. Us all gathering here without being summoned by the Council of Wise Men.
Whoa. I get why you're all here, but still, seeing all of you gathered here is impressive.
No, Subaru. You mean 5 royal selection candidates and their 5 attending knights.
I'm just a knight hopeful, but that's true. I shouldn't forget that. Such pressure.
Subaru, are you okay? If you want, I could do the talking.
But in that case, Leah's story will jump around everywhere, so be prepared for that.
Prepared for what? Also, I'm happy for the offer, Mealy, but leave this to me. I'll do my best!
Alright then, do your best.
Yeah! Thanks for the support. Thank you very much for taking the trouble to attend on this fine day.
I have no use for your boring introductory remarks, Commoner. I am spending my valuable time here. If you have nothing of worth to say, I'll leave.
Don't complain about a conventional opening line. Anyway, thanks for gathering. I know it was sudden, so I'm grateful.
This is an important matter related to the royal selection. Considering your actions thus far, it would be a bad idea to ignore you.
Yes, Subaru and Rem found the suspicious guy targeting royal selection candidates.
Yeah, I was there too! Me too!
Yes, Fairy will personally reward you later. I can get rid of stuff like stiff shoulders, just like that.
Oh, that would actually be really helpful.
Also, thanks to Natsuki, my company cultivated a new business. Julius brought the contract and told me about yesterday. Don't worry.
I thought for certain today would be about that. But seeing this lineup, it seems that wasn't gonna be all. What kind of story do you have in store for us? I feel both anticipation and dread.
As for me, well, it's probably got to do with what happened yesterday, right? I've got a stake in this, so I'll hear you out.
I would also like to understand the situation. Miss Felt refuses to tell me about yesterday.
I'll talk about all of that, but please, let me hold off distributing honors for all your input until later. Well, this isn't completely unrelated to Al's extremely self-assertive comment.
Oh, he was? Although I can already imagine what you have to say. On-camp is blatantly absent, after all.
You're a genius when it comes to making a bad atmosphere.
There's no need for deceit, Commoner. Of course, everyone here already noticed the same thing. All that remained was to say it out loud or not. Or did you wish to put a lid over the obvious truth and have us exchange pointless pleasantries around it? In that case, I have no business here. You can all lick each other's wounds on your own.
Princess, you're going too far. I'm sure even he realizes that. There are just some conversations people aren't eager to have. He can't help that. He seems pretty close to that girl after all.
Such lenient words for an enemy. Regardless of their status as real or fake, all royal candidates are our enemies.
But then why did you come here today, Priscilla? If you say everyone around you are enemies, wouldn't it be dangerous to come? And yet you still came, Priscilla. That's probably because you trust us and have expectations for us. Am I wrong?
The mumblings of a half-devil irritate my noble ears terribly.
You...
Either revise your words or withdraw them, Priscilla Bariel. Saying such statements is not wise here.
That's no good, Princess. Losing your temper just because she hit you where it hurts is childish.
I'm not going to say who's right, but I owe that girl a debt. So I'm going to take her side too.
Don't think you can push your luck by banding together, commoners. Do you think I'd be scared if you formed a group? In that case, you're terribly mistaken.
Princess, let's stop this, okay? Don't make the situation even worse. You're putting me in a tough spot here.
Be quiet, Al. Or do you wish that ugly head of yours to be removed from your shoulders?
Even Al's no good. It can't be helped. His was a noble sacrifice.
Isn't that a little cold, bro?
I won't allow you to cut off Mr. Al's head. Miss Priscilla, please return to your seat. I'm sure you'll hear a story well worth the trouble of coming here.
You speak big, Sword Saint. Very well. I'll go along with this.
Whoa, Al couldn't do it, but Reinhardt pulled it off!
I entrust the rest to you, Subaru. I'd like you to make Miss Priscilla understand.
And casually raising the hurdle while he's at it.
You'll be fine, Subaru. I'll be here watching from your side.
Oh, man, I can't look uncool in front of you here.
It really is unforgivable.
Reconstructing the human body at will, you say? Ferris, is such a thing possible?
I think if you spent a lot of time to slowly change the skeleton and other parts, it wouldn't be impossible. But according to Subaru's story just now, what happened to Miss Melty's body is on a different level completely.
Hiding her third eye and blocking her throat where food passes. This isn't something that can be done with magic. One could say it's like remaking her into a completely new creature.
A new creature, huh? But couldn't the cat ear's magic do something about that?
That's right. Ferris's healing magic is famous as the greatest in the kingdom, capable of doing things others cannot.
Would Ferris's healing magic work? What do you think, Ferris?
I'm happy you have so much hope in me, but I think it would be a little difficult. I'd have to examine her to be sure, but if it's as Fairy thinks...
If it's as you think, what would happen?
I think healing magic would have no effect. Subaru, just making sure, but...
Yeah, ask me anything.
According to Tiger's story, Miss Melty's body was made that way years ago, right?
I can't say anything for sure, but considering how he said it, yeah.
Just an example. But when did you lose your arm, Allie?
Allie has a pretty fresh ring to it.
Al, answer him.
Yeah. It's been a little over 10 years since I lost this arm. I'm totally used to it now, though.
Even Fairy's healing magic can't fix this arm Allie lost. After all this time, a lost arm won't grow back.
I guess that makes sense.
If you ask why, it's because his body has gotten used to it. It's natural now for this body to not have an arm. So,
For Melty's body, her evil eyes being hidden and her esophagus being blocked are natural too?
that's what I think. So even if I use healing magic, she probably won't get any better than she is now.
Seriously? To be honest, I was counting on you most of all, Ferris.
I'm fairly uninformed about healing magic. But is there really no possibility? Julius, Margrave Mathers, may I ask?
Unfortunately, my knowledge on healing magic is far short from Ferris's. The only hope is Margrave Mathers.
I'm sad to say healing magic is a weak point for me as well. However, if my knowledge from reading various texts to learn magic is correct, I have no memory of any factors that would refute Ferris's opinion.
This subject may come up, so just letting you know now, it would be difficult with medicine too. To start, most medicines and decoctions are weak compared to healing magic.
Much like Miss Anastasia from the Hoshin Company, it would be difficult for me to be of assistance as well. I've never heard of such a story before.
This individual must be quite the degenerate if they are out there reconstructing bodies. Is there no way to find the perpetrator?
I wish I could, but we have no idea who it could be. I'm sure in the time it takes to investigate.
That girl might end up with a knife in her back.
That's right.
We're at an impasse then.
Fairy doesn't like this.
All of you are puzzling for so long. But over what are you so concerned?
Priscilla Boreal.
You must realize it. If the story that Commoner brought is true, the false candidate is already clear. All that remains is to reveal the truth, remove the false candidate, and the obstacle disappears. The postponed royal selection would resume. Why would we need to be so concerned over the problems of those who hindered us so much?
So that's why.
Will this discussion move forward without answering this question? I urge you all to consider.
Isn't it because we couldn't sleep at night? What other reason do you need? They were used by some dangerous people, dragged into a royal selection they wanted no part in, and their lives are in danger. The more I hear, the more I sympathize with that girl. Right, Reinhard?
Miss Felt.
Anyway, if they're being forced to be in the royal selection against their will, I want to do something to help. That would be more than enough reason for me to go along with his suggestion.
While I have a slight objection to her preface, I have the same opinion as Miss Felt. If Miss Felt decides to do this, My duty is to push aside the many obstacles in her path. I will not hesitate.
Talking like you're so high and mighty. Once in a while, you can just say you want to kick the ass of people you don't like.
If that is your command.
If I had to say, my opinion is closer to that of the Red Princess there. If the fake candidate is identified, any further action is excessive, to be honest. We have no obligation to help them.
Miss Anastasia, but...
Quiet. I'm still in the middle of speaking. You shouldn't interrupt the words of your master. Also, you shouldn't jump to hasty conclusions. What I have to say next is most important.
Oh, interesting. What argument will the widely known embodiment of greed herself present next?
I'll take your words as a compliment, Princess, but my answer is simple. While we have no obligation to help them, there is benefit to it. I may be an outsider, so this doesn't go for me, but isn't the Transcendent Dragon Church a big name in the kingdom? If their candidate turns out to be a fake, that would be a big, big scandal. So what happens if we solve their problem and show mercy on top of that? The church couldn't hold their head above ours. The main aim of the royal selection is a covenant with the dragon. We would obtain a pretext to silence those who would meddle in it. Would that not be beneficial? So, do you like my way of thinking?
Damnable fox.
Why, thank you!
The conclusion drawn from no emotion is the exact opposite of felt, and exactly like Anastasia.
You say that, but please don't misunderstand her as having no emotional connection. That is simply a condition required by Miss Anastasia. Even if she says to help them based only on emotion, it would involve the great many people who follow Miss Anastasia. In her position, she must not do such a thing. Thus, it is necessary to have adequate cause. A premise so convincing, it sways yourself and others.
Julius! What embarrassing things are you saying? This has nothing to do with your job as a knight, does it?
No. As your knight, I must do my utmost to prevent misunderstandings of you, Miss Anastasia. However,
what?
I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm glad I became your knight. My sword and my loyalty belong to you.
That's not worth one coin, but my doctrine is to take anything given, so I'll reluctantly accept it.
Yes.
Well, it appears that it is my turn to state my opinion.
Cruce.
No need to look so worried. When one's gaze becomes cloudy, one can falter in the ideals they carry. Also, rather than stating my opinion here, I shall ask my trusted retainer to do so.
Miss Cruce?
Ferris, I wish to know your opinion. Felt and Anastasia Hoshin have covered the issues of benefit and sentiment. I could act for the same reasons as either of them. However, I wish to hear your opinion in particular. What is going through your mind? After hearing Subaru Natsuki's story earlier, what do you think of Melty Pristis and her faction?
Miss Cruchet, Fairy is your knight.
Indeed you are.
I'm prepared to devote everything to your ideals.
Yes.
But I am a healer at the same time. When asked for help, the first thing I think of is doing something about it. That goes even more so for people in a deadlock, in despair. After all, I was like that before. In an abyss of darkness, with nothing I could do, Miss Cruchet led me by the hand and rescued me from there. That's how I became the person I am now, so I can't possibly reject a hand reaching out for help. I'm sorry, Miss Cruchet, for being such a willful and self-indulgent retainer, but...
That's enough. No need to finish.
Miss Cruchet, will this make you hate Fairy?
Me? Hate you? Unthinkable. That would only be possible if I ceased being myself.
Miss Cruchet, I love you!
As do I. Apologies for the long wait, but this is my conclusion. I wish to be a lord who responds to her retainers. Therefore, we shall cooperate with Subaru Natsuki.
All of that back and forth was just a charade. As you said yourself, you could find a reason one way or another, regardless.
However, if I'm going to walk, I will walk the path my ideals have set for me, alongside my beloved retainer.
Do as you please. While we're on the subject, Half-Double, you answer the question as well.
I'm going along with Subaru, so...
After all this, simply going along with your jester next to you would be absurd. Don't tell me you actually intend to say something so foolish. True, this gathering began at his behest. However, the master must bear the responsibility of the servant. You have a responsibility to make your own statement. Now that you understand that, answer again. Why would you make such an effort for the sake of an imposter?
I lived for a long time in the forest of my homeland. I was there with Puck, and that was enough for me. But one day, Roswell came to the forest, saying he'll let me join the royal selection. When I left the forest for the first time and got taken to the manor, there was so much I didn't know. I caused so much trouble for Rom and Rem. She isn't here right now, but there's a girl named Beatrice who gets along really well with Puck, and I wanted to get along with her too. But she was always getting mad at me too, and lots of stuff happened. After deciding to join the royal selection, I met the other candidates, and it made me think of how much I needed to get my act together. Everyone was really amazing, with such strong ideals, so I thought I needed that strength too. I must have made a mistake because I was so preoccupied by that thought. I made such a big mistake at the royal capital. I had no idea what to do. I agonized over it, panicked, and then... I met Subaru.
Mealy.
With Subaru's help, I renewed my resolve at the estate, and now I'm standing here like this in the royal capital. Lots of meetings and experiences shaped who I am now, and I'm different from when it was just me and Puck in the forest. That's why I don't want my meeting with Melty and everyone to end with just a brief encounter. I want to talk it out and understand. If I need to help them first in order to accomplish that, that's what I want to do. No, that's what I will do. After all, if I don't do this right, I'll have this really hazy feeling in my chest troubling me.
You lost steam right at the end!
But that's how I honestly feel.
Princess, isn't that enough?